So here we are, everybody. I'm out in Halifax and I'm at the Shearwater Aviation Museum. So we're gonna head inside. We're gonna take a look at some of the collection they have here. Really, really cool museum. Very happy that I stopped by. So let's hop inside. We'll take a look at what they have here. And as always, my name is Sean and this is Sean's Aviation. So we're up here in the upstairs gallery area, and they have a couple of really neat displays here on a Victoria Cross winner. We have one here depicting the famous actions by David Hornell, who was a Canadian flying Catalinas in the North Atlantic, attacking a submarine. Engine was hit, caught fire. He pressed the attack, but the ship ended up crashing. The aircraft, I should say, ended up crashing, and yeah, he was eventually killed in that action, getting him the Victoria Cross. And on this side, we have a display on Robert Hampton Gray, who was, again, a Canadian flying Corsairs off of an aircraft carrier in the Pacific, and in the dying days of World War II, pressed home an attack on a Japanese destroyer. His aircraft was shot. He was, apologies, there's a little video playing depicting the events. And you can see right there, actually, perfect timing, where he was hit, bomb hit the Japanese ship. The ship crashed and he was killed, earning him the Victoria Cross. Also of note, since they have the picture of it here, this is his memorial on the island in Japan where he was killed. It is the only memorial in Japan for a foreign soldier, which is a unique honor for him. As well, you've got the model of both his Corsair and of the ship that he operated off at the time. So really neat displays up here. Another interesting display they have up here, I'm not going to go in. There is an area here that is set aside as a memorial for the cyclone that we lost a number of years ago, killing the crew, RCAF cyclone. So there's a memorial room up here. I'm not going to go in, but that's also part of this collection. From up here on the second level, a really good view of the downstairs viewing area, T-33, Harvard, a scale hurricane replica, and over here you have a swordfish, which we'll take a look at a little closer here in a second. Now behind me here we have the fairy swordfish, and this is, as far as I know, one of only two on display here in Canada. The other one is at the Canada Aviation and Space Museum. This particular one was restored a number of years ago and was restored technically to airworthy condition, but never flown. They ran the engine. You can still see they've got the oil pans underneath. They ran the engine and decided not to continue flying it, so it's now here in the museum, but pretty rare to see a complete swordfish on display. Also of note, behind me here, they have a replica of a convoy command board. So this is where they would be tracking all the different convoys across the North Atlantic back and forth to Europe, as well as the different aircraft that were going in to help protect those convoys. So that's a really neat to kind of look at what things used to be like in World War II.
Just a quick editor's note here. As I began filming this next clip you're going to see, I found out from one of the docents at the museum, one of the volunteers, that up in the Hampton Gray room was the ship's bell from the HMS Formidable, which was the aircraft carrier that Hampton Gray flew off of. And I meant to go back up and take video of it, and I realize now as I'm editing I completely forgot to do that. So there's just this screenshot from my previous video of the actual ship's bell from the HMS Formidable. But let's continue on with the rest of my videos.
Another cool thing from upstairs where the bell was in the Hampton Gray display, they have all the bells, the actual ship bells from the Canadian aircraft carriers, the Bonaventure, the Magnificent, the Shearwater.
So just a quick editor's note, because I'm really showing my lack of naval history here in this video. The HMCS Shearwater was not an aircraft carrier. It was the namesake for the base. It was a early British sloop that was used as a submarine tender during World War I, and the base was named in her honor.
And the Warrior. Really cool to see actual pieces of the ship still on display. So now we're over here in the second building, and there's quite a bit going on over here. You've got the old Sikorsky helicopter. I can't remember the name of it now, HOS-5, I believe, or something like that. I'll put the name on the screen if I have it wrong. You've also got a Banshee, a late model Grumman tracker, an early model Grumman tracker, which, believe it or not, I've looked up that is actually 501. That is the very first tracker that the Canadian Navy ever received. You've also got a Firefly on over here, a Canadian Avenger, the later style Canadian Avengers with the greenhouse. There'll be some pictures up. It's a little hard for me to walk around too much. Restoration corner, we've got a Beach 18 in naval colors, as well as a Bell 47, US registered, but my guess is it was donated, will be painted up in the Canadian helicopter colors. So that's always cool. You've got a Piasecki Hup 3 Retriever, one of the coolest helicopters around, in my opinion. A later model Sea King with all the later mods with the FLIR turrets and all the packages on it that you saw in the later model ones. And over here we also have an early Sea King, and it says it's 4001, which should be the first Sea King delivered to Canada. I don't know for sure. I still have to research on that as I'm filming, so I'll put it on the screen if it is actually the first, because that would be cool to have, where am I, the first tracker in Canadian Navy with the first Sea King. Don't know for sure, but by the time this video goes live, you will know. So another unique display they have here is this here. It's looking as if a helicopter is landing on a ship, and it's colloquially called, also known as the bear trap. So the idea is the helicopter would lower a guide wire, which would be connected to the ship. And as the ship's pitching and rolling in the seas, the helicopter pilot just has to keep the aircraft hovering close down. And at the right moment, the guy over here in the little control tower place will actually pull the helicopter down into place and then latch it with these latches. And it hooks on to the little peg that's hanging at the bottom of the helicopter and locks the helicopter into the trap. Think of a bear trap grabbing a leg. It's the same idea. It holds that helicopter to the deck, stops it from sliding off the side of the ship or anything else in the rough sea. So it's really cool, very common on Canadian destroyers.
Another just quick editing note, I have since discovered that this bear trap system was actually designed by the Canadians in the 1950s and 60s, specifically to operate off of the smaller destroyers that the Canadian Navy had.
Really like the fact that they have a little display like this set up. Really shows you the ingenuity that we did getting aircraft flying on and off very small ships. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up standing here by the entrance with this Grumman tracker wing, and behind is a little gate guard area with a T-33, a Sea King, and an Avenger. So a really neat little gate guard memorial at the entrance to the base. And I want to wrap this video up here. So thank you all for sticking around with me. Really cool museum. Naval aviation, which is something I don't normally do. So it's really cool learning experience, really cool artifacts. Thank you for watching. We'll see you all next time.